What if I told you that one of America's most iconic landmarks might be hiding the greatest archaeological cover-up in modern history? That beneath the red rocks and ancient layers of the Grand Canyon lies evidence of a civilization so advanced, so impossible, that powerful institutions have spent over a century making sure you never learn the truth? Welcome back to Weirder Than You Know. I'm your host, and today we're descending into the depths of a mystery that begins with a newspaper article from 1909 and ends with questions that will make you question everything you thought you knew about ancient America. Picture this. It's April 5th, 1909. The Arizona Gazette publishes what should have been the archaeological discovery of the century. A man named G.E. Kincaid claims he's found something impossible in the Grand Canyon, a hidden cave system filled with Egyptian hieroglyphics, ancient mummies, and golden artifacts that shouldn't exist on this continent. But here's where it gets strange. After this story breaks, something unprecedented happens. Silence. Complete institutional silence that continues to this day. Let me paint you a picture of what Kincaid claimed to have found. According to the Arizona Gazette, this wasn't just some small cave with a few pottery shards. We're talking about a vast underground complex, a city carved into the canyon walls themselves. Kincaid described passages that stretched for miles, chambers filled with copper tablets covered in hieroglyphics, and mummies wrapped in dark cloth. But here's what made his story truly extraordinary. The artifacts weren't Native American. They were Egyptian, or possibly Asian. Ancient civilizations that, according to mainstream archaeology, never set foot in North America. The newspaper reported that Kincaid immediately contacted the Smithsonian Institution, America's premier archaeological authority. And allegedly, they were very interested. So interested that they supposedly sent their own scientist, a man named Professor S.A. Jordan, to investigate. Now, according to the story, Jordan didn't just confirm Kincaid's discovery, he expanded it. The Smithsonian team allegedly found evidence of an advanced civilization that had lived in the Grand Canyon for thousands of years. We're talking about sophisticated architecture, advanced metallurgy, and artifacts that suggested contact with ancient Egypt and the Orient. The implications were staggering. If true, this discovery would have rewritten American history. It would have proven that advanced civilizations from the Old World had somehow reached North America long before Columbus, long before the Vikings, long before anyone we've been taught about in school. But then something inexplicable happened. The story vanished. Here's where our conspiracy begins, and trust me, it gets weirder than you know. When researchers tried to follow up on this incredible discovery, they hit a wall. The Smithsonian Institution claimed they had no record of G.E. Kincaid, no record of Professor S.A. Jordan, no record of any Egyptian artifacts from the Grand Canyon. In fact, they claimed the entire story was a hoax. But wait, it gets stranger. The area where Kincaid claimed to have made his discovery? It's now off-limits to the public, completely restricted. The official reason? Preservation of sensitive archaeological sites. But preservation of what, exactly, if nothing was ever found there? Let's think about this logically. If this was just a newspaper hoax, why would the government restrict access to the area? Why not simply allow researchers to prove once and for all that nothing is there? And here's another question that should keep you awake at night. The Arizona Gazette wasn't some tabloid. It was a legitimate newspaper. Why would they risk their reputation on such an elaborate hoax? What did they have to gain? Some researchers have suggested that the Smithsonian's denial isn't about protecting scientific integrity. It's about protecting a narrative. Think about it. American archaeology has been built on the premise that advanced civilizations in the Americas were isolated from the Old World until European contact. A discovery like Kincaid's would demolish that foundation. But here's where our story takes an even more mysterious turn. Long before Kincaid's supposed discovery, Native American tribes in the region had legends about underground beings and hidden chambers within the canyon. The Hopi speak of the ant people who lived beneath the earth. The Navajo tell stories of ancient ruins hidden in sacred places. Were these legends based on actual encounters with the remnants of this lost civilization? Or do they point to something even more extraordinary? Evidence that the Grand Canyon has been a site of unexplained phenomena for thousands of years? Could these phenomena be connected to whatever Kincaid claimed to have found? Are we dealing with ancient technology that we still don't understand? Or is something else entirely going on beneath one of America's most visited national parks? But let's zoom out for a moment and consider the bigger picture. The Grand Canyon conspiracy isn't just about hidden artifacts or cover-ups. It's about control. Control over information, control over history, and control over what we're allowed to believe about our past. If advanced civilizations did exist in ancient America, if they did have contact with the old world, if they did possess technologies we're only beginning to understand, then everything we've been taught about human history is incomplete at best and deliberately misleading at worst. And that raises the ultimate question: what else are they hiding?